Oh,
Okay. Morning. Good morning, Miss Allen. Good morning, Mr. Berman. Good morning, Mr. Roth. Good morning, Miss Lewis. Good morning, all. Good morning, Combs.
Good morning, Mr.
Oh,
Caius.
well, you weren't talking, so. Good morning. My name's Chris Caius. I am Chair of the Kane County Administration Committee, and I am calling this meeting to order on Wednesday, April 10th, 2024 at 10:30 a.m. And we have roll call, please.
Berman,
Berman is here.
Davis,
Davis here.
Ford.
Thumbs here.
Young,
Here.
Juby,
Should be here.
Tepe,
Caius present.
an in-person quorum.
We have a quorum. Then, with your permission, we will allow, I believe it's Mr. Davist is going to be remote this morning. Do I hear no objections from that? Okay.
No.
We're good then. Welcome, Mr. Davist.
Thank you.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from March 15th, 2024.
Council will ask for unanimous consent to approve that.
Thumbs asked for unanimous consent for the minutes of March 15th, 2024. Are there any objections?
No.
Hearing none, seeing none. The minutes are approved. Is there any public comment? Is there anyone online, in person, or in writing?
Yeah, I signed up.
Did you sign up? Okay, Mr. Young,
Go for it.
state your name and go for it. Do we have a timer? Mr. Roth, will you do timing? I think, is this usually off agenda for 3 minutes?
Okay, David Young. My question today is what resolutions pass in this committee that will pass in this committee today will not go and make it to the full county board agenda on in May. Why do I ask that question? A proclamation passed 4-3 in the Public Service Committee meeting last month. Since this passed out of committee, this should have been put on the full county board meeting. But due to politics, this was not put on the agenda. I wonder what part of the proclamation was not, didn't people like? I don't know. But here's part of that. Here's part of what was on that proclamation. It is unlawful under federal law as well as Illinois state law for non-citizens to participate as voters in elections, midterm elections, consolidated elections, primary elections, special elections, school board elections, and any other elections conducted within the jurisdiction of Kane County. There's another statement that may have triggered some people. Illinois State Senator Selena Villanueva, representing District 12, has proposed legislation, Senate Bill 1345, which was filed in the Illinois State Senate and would permit non-citizens of the United States to register and vote in school board elections, a move that diverges from the longstanding requirement of the U.S. citizenship for voter eligibility. Now, if you look at our Kane County statutes, Section 247, Section C1, it says that the chairman, with the advice of the executive committee, shall prepare an agenda for each meeting of the county board prior to such meeting. Okay, that means the agenda is set during the executive committee meeting. Well, who sets the executive committee agenda? It is the chairman of the board, along with his vice chairman of the board. So the decisions out of one or two people out of 25 can change the topics and the agenda for the Kane County. It's very powerful. So if a resolution or a proclamation coming out of this committee today is not to their liking, will it be put on the Kane County Board agenda for May? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Is there anyone else? Is it? That addresses public comment. Then financial reports, I believe, are on file, so we can go to the agenda and find those. Next, we have a report, a facilities master plan update, and we are going to have Ms. Heidi Files report on that.
Yes, good
Right
morning.
ahead.
Thank
Floor
you.
is yours.
We are on the committee of the whole agenda for this month. And White and Company will be there. Mr. Dwyer will be giving a presentation. We have revised the plan, or we are in the middle of revising it slightly to reflect some of the actions of the county board recently in regarding the health department decision. So we will bring those revisions forward, and the plan will present to committee of the whole. We'll send out an updated. It's very, very minor, the updates. And we'll send a PDF to everybody, and then we'll, after the committee of the whole, we'll bring it back to you, this committee, for your review and recommendation to the county board for approval. That's
Okay.
it. Thank
Any
you.
questions for Ms. Files? Great. Well, that was easy. Yeah. Okay, item 10. Oh, no, let's see. Believe with the permission of the committee, we will rearrange the order of the agenda to have Mr. Fonstock report at where we normally have executive session. Is that correct?
So,
Yes.
Mr. Chair Gums,
Yes.
then I would make a motion so that we can adjust the agenda, because we have to do that, I believe.
Well, let's, Mr. State's Attorney, I believe I have does the chair have the ability to just to ask for unanimous consent or
You
ask for
can always
approval?
ask for unanimous consent,
Okay, then I would just ask,
and if you get it, then so ordered.
so that would be with the approval, then we'll just change these around. No objection? Thank you for trying, making it legitimate as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. So then we'll move on to building management with Henry Thompson, who's going to do a presentation on the Judicial Center exterior lighting project. Although it says Heidi Files, I think you're done.
Hi, good morning. Today
Back
we
again.
have Lakin Green from IMEG and Dan Bassano from HOK. They were our design team. Here it is right here. Oh, no, okay. Sorry. They were our design team for the exterior lighting project at the Judicial Campus. This is a really important project. We did publicly bid out this project. Fitzgerald Electric was the lowest bid. The reason this is so important, this is kind of your main judicial campus. We have a lot of activity on this campus, and we've had multiple problems with half of the campus lighting going down. We have some poles that have actually come down because they're compromised. It needs to be replaced, upgraded for safety. It's going to be dark sky compliant, and it's going to bring a lot of safety to this campus. I'm going to send this over to Lakin, and Lakin Green is going to do a presentation, 5 simple slides just to give an overview of the magnitude of this project. Yeah, please. Thank you. The magnitude of this project and why it costs what it does.
Okay, great. And I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch the name. Is it
Lakin
Lakin?
Green from IMEG,
Okay.
and she works with Dan Bassano from HOK. And
Yes, so my name is Lakin Green. I'm with IMEG and I'm a lighting designer. We also do have 2 other people on my team that's on the project. So we have a electrical engineer and a project manager as well. But I will be here today to represent the whole team. And as Heidi said, this will be for the site lighting. So up on the screen right now, you can see just a couple of different photographs of the current conditions on the site, where we've got different site poles from different renovations you guys have done over the past 40 years. Some of these go back to when you used to use HID lamps and lights instead of LEDs. We've got broken light fixtures. You have a couple contactors that look like they started some fires at one point in time. So we're suggesting we replace those. And then a couple of site poles completely that have just tipped over, damaged. You've got exposed wires, different pole bases. You've got some that are high, some that are low, some at different structural bearings within them. So you've got a whole lot of things throughout your site that just does not match, doesn't really meet the current expected codes and recommendations for lighting when it comes to outdoor environments. So this is what we are hoping to fix and replace and bring up to what would be a standard for 2024. And now here are a few photographs of what we're proposing for the new lighting. So this is what was included in the bid. We've got 25-foot parking lot lighting and drive lighting. And then we've got some bollards and some pedestrian pole lighting, and then a bunch of landscape signage, flag, and facade lighting. This will all be used to create both the base light levels throughout the drives and the parking lots, as well as the security light levels and all the lighting you need for safety.
No
And
tiki
then
torches?
as Heidi had said earlier, we are going for a few different statistical recommendations for lighting. So 2.3 foot candle average on the drives and the parking lots. That is what we measure light in. So right now you guys are probably getting somewhere around 0.5 to 1 foot candles, what I'd expect based off the current conditions and how the lighting's set up. And so we're going to go to 2.3, which is what's recommended for a facility that is within the government district or that has a high security concern. We're also doing dark sky compliance, which means we're going to keep the light pointed towards the ground. We're going to keep it from going up into the sky. And that's really a thing that has to do with
That's me.
environmental and other types of codes that we look at. So trying to make sure that the community in general is not being affected by overlighting this space, but still making sure we're meeting all the security concerns for your facility. And so with that, that means we're going to use a 3000K light fixture, which is more of a warm instead of a cold blue fixture. And that's great for both humans and animals that might be around the site migrating. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see what is existing for poles and light heads, which would be for your drives and your parking lots. And then what we're proposing for the new layout, as well as the wattage difference. The main reason you're not seeing a huge difference in wattage is because your current lighting layout does not meet the current recommendations for light levels. So that's why we had to increase that a little. And then once it comes to the cost associated with the project, you have a very large site. You've got 4 buildings, lots of drives, lots of parking lots. So it's not as small as a typical building might have for a parking lot. So we ended up with 117 area lights and poles, 27 bollards, 2 pedestrian lights, 120 landscape lights for the trees, flags, facade, signage, security, all that type of stuff. And then we've got the lighting control system, which will be the Cooper wavelength system. This is a wireless system, so we're going to cut out all the wiring that we have to bring to those poles for control. And that system is composed of a whole bunch of smaller components. So we didn't list all those, but it is a whole system. You've got 152 new concrete bases, and that's going to be for all of your aerial poles, bollards, pedestrian poles, and a few of the site lighting for security, which would be the landscape stuff. And then we've got all of the new electrical conduit runs and wiring runs for the JC and the JJC. That's all compromised right now. It's not usable. We can't reuse it. So we have to run all of that back to the building, to all the new light poles. And then you'll have a modification and extension to all the other new locations for lighting. We're going to try to reuse whatever we can, but there are some locations where it just might be too damaged and needs to be replaced. And then you've got just the typical removal and disposal of what's existing and all of the labor to install it.
If I can just add a couple of
Oh,
points.
yeah,
to
go ahead,
that.
Ms. Files.
We've worked with Jody Walnick and her team to ensure that this follows her standards.
Put it right.
Sorry,
A little louder.
we've been working with Water Resources and Environment and Jody Walnick and her team to make sure this complies with her standards. And also, this is an important project at the timing of it because there's a lot of pavement work that needs to be done at the judicial campus, and we have that scheduled for next year. So we're trying to get this done this year so that we can not tear up. They're going to be either doing trenching or boring to get the electrical to the sites. And there's going to be some patching required on behalf of the contractor. And so next year, we'll be able to mill and resurface parts of that campus and then do some pavement management. So it's a good timing.
Yeah, let's not do that. It seems like they always do the whole road and then they start tearing it up right away.
Yeah.
Mr.
Patch it.
Chairman,
Yes. Ms.
I'd like to ask Ms. Heidi,
Files.
Ms. Files, does any of this relate to the grant proposal of the CPRG grant proposal? I know you submitted many good ideas.
So yes, the Jody's team did submit, I think it's EC.
CPRG.
Okay. You know what? I don't remember the exact name, but Sarah Hinshaw did apply for some money and we did receive $50,000 towards this project.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, and then also, pardon me, in our specifications, our contractor is required to apply for ComEd rebates for the LED lighting. So there will be some rebates back.
And does any of the, was any of this on your list for the new grant proposal?
You know what? I don't remember.
Okay.
I'll have to check
I
with
don't either.
Sarah and Jody on that because
Okay.
they are working on that and I'll check with them.
We submitted that already, but.
Thank you.
gave
There's
us
a lot
great
of stuff on
list.
that proposal.
Yes,
Yeah.
there was. There
Yeah.
was. You gave
Yeah.
us a good list.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? for Ms. Files?
No, thank you.
Anyone else? Or Ms. Gauss?
I was gonna just point out, I was about to ask a question and I think it'll be a little lighthearted. I was gonna ask if they were solar powered and then I forgot that we had a solar field. So just wanted to make you smile,
Oh,
but yes.
no, any plug for the solar field.
Uh-huh.
This is good. We'll have data on that soon. Okay,
Davis has his hand up.
Mr. Davist?
Yeah, yes, hold on.
Oh, I
I'm
see
gonna
your,
lower
oh,
my-
I see your hand up. I'm sorry, I missed it.
There,
Go
and
ahead.
I've lowered it.
Yep.
Heidi, good morning. Always
morning.
happy to hear from you. How much, I know that we are a long way off from pursuing our master plan out there in terms of construction, but how much of this are we able to coordinate with things that Jason Dwyer has shown us so far?
But-
So that we're preparing for, the footprint of things that we believe are coming.
Well, I think one of the benefits to this system, and Lakin, you might have to jump in here, is that we're coordinating it all together. And I think they're right now working off of different controllers. And so this will be at least the same types of controllers throughout the campus. And we'll be able to expand the system as we move forward.
That is correct. So right now you have some lighting contactors in each of your building controlling the lights. And then you've also got a separate system within the coroner's office that controls the lights. And you've got another system that controls all the interior lighting in your buildings. So we're going to put it all on the Cooper Wavelength system. So it's just one system. You will have a couple of contactors for lighting elements that can't go wireless. But otherwise it'll all be on the Wavelength system and that can be used on the interior of the building, exterior building. It's flexible to be grown over time. And you can also make it into a whole campus. So if you had a building across town that you wanted to add to it, you can do that as well.
And I think this will be a nice project for campus consistency also. We have lots of different types of lights that were installed at different times. And a lot of them are failing for different reasons also. This will be a nice kind of unified approach to the lighting, make it simpler. And I think it'll be easier to expand in the future if there is any growth at the campus.
Does that answer your question, Mr. Davis?
Yes, I mean, I had a lot of faith in our staff that they would look at it that way, but it never hurts to just put it out there and remind us all that hopefully there is a future, you know, of construction there at the campus, and that we're being, you know, that we're keeping it in mind while we do things like this. And it sounds like we are. So thank you.
I think I gathered that. It's flexible anyway. If it's not, there aren't any specific plans for the future exactly, so it's difficult to
It's
plan that. Is that-
I think the key word I heard was expandable.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
So-
so that's good. Thank you.
great. Thanks. A good question. Good question. Thanks, Mark. Okay.
Question.
Yes, Mr. Roth.
Roth here. Is there an estimate of costs and then also estimate by going 100% LED savings? And then therefore, what would the payback be?
I don't know about the exact estimate of cost for running the system. There is a reduction in cost because we are,
Well, yeah, it's
reducing the
more of
wattage.
operational. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
I can look into that and get back to you,
Okay.
but I don't have.
well,
uh,
because I know the grant that Ms. Bates submitted, it was less than 2.5 year payback and it was saving close to $1 million a year.
Mr. Chairman.
That
It was
for lighting.
980,000.
I mean,
Mr. Fonstock, do you have something?
I think the closest thing you have is the consumption in the units of power that Lakin was showing, which I don't know if you want to skip back to that slide, but yeah, it shows you the wattage difference. I mean, we're providing, you know, I know you'd mentioned solar power. We're providing that during the day. We don't have a storage system that I know of on the campus. So at night, when you're lighting the campus at night, it's not stored power from that system that's going to run the lights, just to be fair. So, you know, reducing the wattage, you're probably looking at you know, let's say 5,000 watts out of 32,000. So you're saving 15%, 16, you know, somewhere in that range on the power consumption. We still are getting like the billing and invoice from the energy company and trying to determine, like, after the startup, what are we going to consistently see?
Right.
And I talked to Chairman Caius about this. It's too early to even get a kind of a rating from our broker. They told us 15 months would be a good time frame to actually look at what your consumption looks like over a period of like 15 months. So we're going to try to get some numbers together that are like early, but I think to understand the actual dollars that we save, it might be a little bit premature right now. We just know the wattage is going to go down and the lights will be better. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that does it. Okay, thank you, Mr. Roth. Let's see, then that's, back to you. Are we done?
I think, is that the last slide?
Part two, or are you done? Thank you for joining us and explaining that to us. I think everybody's clear on it.
Okay.
It was very illuminating.
Oh, one more, a little more. Good
So-
information.
We did have two alternates on the project, so these don't necessarily have to be accepted, but if you wanted to, you could. The first one was for additional 2 poles for future security cameras to be added at each of the entries. So that would be one alternate that you could accept. And the other one was to fix some parking lot repair in your corner office area where we're moving some light poles where they're currently having some issues with trucks getting in the way. So those are just 2 alternates that we added in to see how much it would cost for you guys, but it's not necessarily something that needs to be included with the project.
And
So-
w-
Those are included now in the cost that's
resolution.
that's shown on the resolution. So
Yeah.
yes, thank you.
Okay, good. Great. Thank
Uh,
you. That's good. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the report. Then we'll move to item B, resolution. May I have a motion and a second to present and potentially approve authorizing a contract for Kane County Judicial Center exterior lighting project with Fitzgerald's Electric Contracting Incorporated and the Building Management Department bid 24020 TK.
Gums will move.
Moved by Gums, second by Ford. I think we got that pretty much. You, Mr. Fonstock,
Nothing further from us.
this is it. Okay, Mr. Tepe.
It doesn't state here exactly how this is going to be financed. How much of this is going to be financed through a grant? Or is that yet to be determined?
This is Roger.
Mr. Fonstock, yes.
So the funding for this is in the capital program. So it's all capital, county capital funds. The line item up there is showing, but that's Fund 500, which is capital. So any funds that come back in would just reimburse the capital fund.
But there've been applications for,
I think the $50,000 that environmental and water resources, and then if the other grant funding application is approved in part or in whole, we don't have any response yet. So once that comes through, we would reimburse the capital fund.
okay, thanks.
So
Also
50,
the rebates.
excuse me, Mr. Rock.
The rebates would reimburse the capital
ahead.
fund or go to finance.
Do we have, you're talking over me.
Sorry, sir.
Now I lost, see, that's what happens. I got to speak first. I lose my train of thought. No, the $50,000 is accepted. We've already gotten it. We received it.
I'm
Heidi?
not aware, Heidi, the $50,000 that they were talking about, is that receipt? Not received.
Not
We have
received
not
yet.
received it yet.
Okay,
so
so
it would
both-
be, and
all
then,
the
so
grants are-
the $50,000 and then the ComEd rebates, those would be reimbursed after the
Yeah, none of,
project.
yeah, we have now. Okay, great. Sorry, any other questions, Mr. Roth? Okay. Thanks. We have the resolution. No other questions? Last chance. The roll call, please.
Berman,
Yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford, Gums,
Gums, yes.
Young,
Yes.
Juby. Caius.
Caius, yes.
Passes.
Great. Motion passes. Item 11, in information technology, we have Charles Lasky. May I have a motion and a second for presentation and potential approval of a resolution authorizing number of procurement cards issued to the Geographic Information System, the GIS Division of the Information Technology Department and each of their transaction limits.
Gums
Moved
will-
by Gums, second by
Berman.
Berman.
Hi, yes, this is Charles Lasky with the IT department. This is our final P card that we're putting through for our JS department. We did the rest of them last month, so we're recommending approval.
Any questions for Charles? Roll call, please.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford, Gums,
Gums, yes.
Young,
Yes.
Juby. Caius.
Caius, yes. Item B, may I have a motion and a second for presentation and potential approval of a resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds for documents and records management with Laserfish through Omnia Partners Contract 01-158, moved by Ford, second by
Berman.
Berman.
Hi, yes, this is Charles Lasky again with the IT department. This resolution, we passed a resolution previously to use OPG3 to purchase our Laserfish licenses. This was a request we had from the auditor to put through another resolution because that resolution had referenced a contract service agreement, which our current provider no longer required us to sign. We also wanted to put this under the Omnia Partners. So this resolution accomplishes putting this under that purchasing contract, which has been reviewed and approved by the state's attorney, and also meets the requirement that the auditor had requested to us with us putting this through. So we would recommend approval.
Any questions for Mr. Lasky? Roll call, please.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Young, Juby. Caius.
Caius, yes. Great. Then we have an update from Mr. Fonstock on Mill Creek.
The only thing, this is Roger Fonstock, speaking to Mill Creek. The only thing we have going on with Mill Creek, at last month's meeting, you approved a contract for the ADA sidewalk improvements. All of that is being executed now, and we're going to begin doing all the ADA sidewalk improvements throughout the development on the north end. It's not the south end, it's the north side of the development. And I believe the work is right around $800,000 worth of sidewalks, intersections, ADA approaches to intersections, trip hazards, surface damage, damaged sections of concrete throughout. And it's important to know that all of that money comes from the special service area and is funded by levy on the homeowners and properties there. So other than that, nothing else for Mill Creek.
Okay, any questions? about that? Okay, thanks, Mr. Nothing under vehicles? Is there any new business? Old business? I guess I'll ask for unanimous consent to place the reports on file. Ask for someone to ask for that.
We'll ask for that.
Okay. There any objections?
No.
Reports are on file, but then we'll go into executive session, or do you want to start it outside or?
This is Roger. I'd like to request that the committee make a motion a second to go into executive session to discuss the purchase or lease of real property for the use of public body, including meetings held for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired.
Gums will move.
Gums moves to go in. Oh, was that Ford? Second?
Berman.
Yeah, Ford.
Ford seconds. Did you get that all?
No, but it's recorded.
Well, you want to reread that so she can get it?
I can give it to you in text if you want.
Okay, there you go. Never mind.
What to do?
Go roll call.
Berman. Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford. Gums,
Gums, yes.
Young,
Figured that one
Yes.
Juby,
out.
Caius.
Yes.
All right, everybody online that's joining us in the closed session, please accept those invites. Reminder to those in the room that have joined us digitally, you must also accept that invite before we can get started.
Yeah, they have to, sorry. So if you'll explain it rather than me yelling at them. That's right. Thank you for your presentation, by the way, guys. What are you doing here? Oh. And you got here for the electric light thing too.
Yeah, I did.
I was. Join.
Oh, I gotta join. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. No, you told me to do it. I'm in.
We talk and talk
The
and talk.
county
and get
actually
no-
bought a piece of real estate. I mean, it's probably,
Good question for you.
Circuit clerk building, the 540
So we can
Randall,
talk about.
the
Yeah.
health department.
that's
So we
right.
talk about who in the
Only
hell.
two
would
that I
live
even
in
know of in the
Detroit?
last 20 years.
Yeah,
In
yeah, and
gigantic building.
Yeah,
and the circuit clerk's building was so
it was pretty fixed.
bizarre
It's
anyway.
pretty fixed.
How could we
Yes.
put in?
Yeah.
Well, that was actually an eminent domain,
Well,
and which
be a lot of
is not
reduced
at
and
this
there's a
point
lot of
even
costs
remotely.
associated with
taken.
Oh.
it.
It was a different. The health building was purchased at the time. About 2005.
Yeah. Now, the eminent domain could be an option if it turned out to help us with the price.
There's only one. It's in the police
But
department.
probably the sellers don't need it, but
But
You know what?
courtrooms in there.
One of the buildings that
The
we looked
state's
at
attorneys.
was the pipe fitters building on 56.
They need space.
And while we were talking to the guy, they had an offer on the building which failed, I believe, associated with different special use permits that were asked for. So we stopped talking to them and then we went back to them because I saw that it was listed again. Contacted the broker and they told us it was demolished. Demolished it, $7 million building.
oh,
I couldn't believe, it. I was like, you what? Nope, we're not.
well, I mean, there's been discussions about
Okay.
Charlestown Mall.
Yeah,
Is that,
All right, you are in open session.
yeah, just demolished.
yes, yeah. I think we're done.
We still have forum here.
Berman.
Davis
Davis.
chair.
Thank you. Ford,
Present.
Gums. Young. Juby.
Juby here.
Tepe,
Yes.
Caius.
Guys present.
Have an in-person quorum?
Motion to
The
adjourn.
quorum. Is there any other new business, old business? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr.
Davis
Ford?
moves to adjourn.
Mr. Davis seconds.
Yes.
That's appropriate. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right.
Opposed? See you next month or soon.